Thank you. Oh man, hey, happy Friday. Happy Freedom Friday. All right. So we call this Freedom Friday because it's Financial Freedom Friday, right? This is the day where everybody tries to tone it down, but you guys show up to learn about building wealth, and I love that. So hey, first and foremost, this is the first time I've done this class, so this is this is the debut of Rise of the Real Estate Entrepreneur. So thank you guys for coming out. Out of curiosity, who's been in the business 0 to 6 months? Okay, got a good 6 months to a year, 2 years. Okay, 50 years plus, Biagio? Oh, no, awesome. So there's a little bit of something here for everybody because, as you know, it all comes down to the structure and the mindset and the things you think. Like wealth isn't a skill; it's really a mindset, right? And becoming an entrepreneur is a mindset. So I got a question for you guys. Why are you in real estate? Who can answer that? You said?
Financial freedom.
Yep.
Spend more time with my family.
Spend more time with family.
Looking out for my kids' future.
Help people achieve their goals.
Help people achieve their goals. What's up, Ryan? You got something for me? Why are you in real estate?
To help people and make money.
Okay, I love that. I help people. You can do both, by the way. That's what this whole business is about. I asked you that because a lot of people will say things like, oh, I just really love real estate. I love helping people find their first home and all that stuff. And then I'll be like, would you do it for free though? And they're like, oh no, I ain't doing it for free. Okay, so you are in it for the money to a certain extent, right? You wouldn't probably be here to do it for free. Right? So you have to understand that. The reason I want you to understand that, because the way we talk about, the reason that a lot of people won't say that first, that they'll just say they want to help people, right, is because of the way we talk about money. And that's a big problem, right? It's how we demonize money, it's how we demonize everything. But at the end of the day, we kind of all have the same goals, which is we want to live life on our own terms. And I always say, I don't know if there's another way to do that besides financial freedom. And if there is, tell me, because this shit is hard. Like I want to go the easy route. Is there an easy route? There isn't? Okay, cool. My second question to you is, when do you plan to retire and what does it look like? Who could answer that? Who actually knows when they want to retire? Anybody?
Yeah, like 27.
27? Okay, but let him know how old you're. How old? 23, right? He wants to put 4 years into the game and be done. And it can be done, right? So what does that look like? What's retirement look like for you?
Making, 25 is 6 figures, like on a monthly basis, cruising, I'm flying in my resorts, I got my pilot license.
Yep, you just got your pilot's license. This lingo, by the way, I love it. It was my favorite. But you have to have that clear picture. Most agents don't have an exit strategy. Ask an agent if they know when they want to retire, and most of them won't. Right? Who's been to a realtor retirement party? You have? No, you haven't. You're going to have one. You're gonna have one. Hey, it doesn't happen often, and that's a problem in this industry. Okay, so you have to understand that you got to get the mentality, the fact that we're not talking about money, right? And there isn't a plan, or at least most agents don't have a plan to get out, right? I learned that from a commercial investor and also commercial agent. He told me one time, never buy a commercial property unless you know the exit strategy. Don't just buy the property, like, oh, it creates income. No, you know how to get the hell out. Because when things change, you need to know how to get out. Okay, so never start without an exit strategy. So I like to talk about this comedy special that I've watched, right? And I heard this guy say something. I don't know if you guys know this guy. His name is Ronnie Chang. It's actually a hilarious comedy special, right? And he was saying, Chinese people love money so much, right? They love it so much that on the Chinese New Year, they don't say Happy New Year. They say, hope you get rich. Hope you get rich. It's not Happy New Year. It's like, hey, hope you get rich. Hope you get rich. And I started kind of laughing about it because I kind of think the same way. Like when I see people that have another kid and I'm like, hope you get rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they, it's like, oh, they bought a car they probably couldn't afford. Hey, hope you get rich. Hope you get rich. Because the reality is people not thinking about the liability, the cost of things, right? And where you have to be in order to really enjoy the things that you want, right? So hope you get rich. But here's the problem with hope. Hope is not a strategy, right? We can hope to get rich. But I'm gonna tell you right now, all the wealthy people know didn't hope for shit, right? They didn't hope for shit. And by the way, you can get lucky and get rich, right? You can do it, right? You can win the lottery and get rich. But what do you hear about people after, like 5 years after they won the lottery? See, you can't have broke principles and build wealth. It doesn't matter, right? You can't have broke principles and build wealth. It's all principles to wealth. It's principles. It's a discipline, right? That's what people don't understand. Now, I'm by no means where I need to be, but I study this stuff because it's very important. It's very important that you don't end up with more life than money. It's very important, okay? So, like I told you, anybody can get rich, only a few become wealthy. Why do I say that? Like I said, somebody could win the lottery, but building wealth, you have to become somebody different. Not different in the way that, like, hey, I care about people and now I'm being an asshole, right? Because everybody knows that all money does is enhance who you are, right? If you're an asshole, you get rich, you're going to be a bigger asshole, right? But if you're a great person and you love to help people and you love your family and you want to have an impact on the world, it's hard to do that shit when you're broke. It's really hard. Matter of fact, you're the most selfish person when you're broke because who do you think about all the time? Okay, so can we get past the fact that this is an important thing? Like, we need to get here, right? We have to become wealthy, but we have to become somebody different. We have to think differently. We have to do things that are hard, right? You have to do things that are hard. It's like working out, right? You want to get to that goal. I wish it happened overnight, but it doesn't. You got to continually do these principles over and over again. You guys remember this? You guys remember this age challenge thing when like that thing came out on Facebook or whatever, and everybody was putting their like selves like 10, 20 years ahead of the thing? Well, here's the funny part. This has a lot of symbolism because the reason most people don't get wealthy is because they can't picture this. You understand what I'm saying? When you're 20 years old, you can't picture this. So you don't do the things at 20 years old that you should be doing so that you have everything you have at 50. Or 60 years old. It's hard to picture this. Matter of fact, I just watched a documentary the other day. They did a study where they were trying to see why people don't save, right? They don't save for retirement. They don't do the things that they want to do. They actually did a study where they showed some people their age challenge picture in one room and the other group didn't see it. The room that did ended up saving more money and actually saving for retirement because they were able to picture the fact that this shit isn't going to last forever. Things change. I'm going to get older, okay? I can't do transactions forever. We don't know what the future holds, okay? So it's important that you guys have that concept. So everybody ever heard this story? Yeah. What's the story about? Slow and steady wins the race. What else?
Persistent.
Be persistent. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, when I saw that, when I used to hear the story, I used to not like it because I thought it was about speed, right? I thought it was a story about speed. He said, slow and steady wins the race, right? And I was like, who wants to be slow and steady? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't even sound fun, right? Like, I want to get there fast, just like the rabbit wanted to get there fast. But it was funny, like this was like a year ago, I realized what the story really is about. And the story is about something I call the long game. That's really what the story is about. Oh yeah, absolutely. The story is about the long game, okay? The reason that the tortoise won is because he was thinking long game. He was doing that age challenge and understanding that he has to do things now that are going to pay off later. He has to become an investor in what he's doing, right? And the long game is hard. Like I told you, it's kind of like working out because you don't see results now. That's the problem. The problem is you don't see results now. And because you don't see the results you want because of some expectation that you might have or whatever the case may be, you will quit before you reach this goal. Okay? So you guys ever seen an exponential curve? Right? An exponential curve goes like this. Okay? Just goes. And this section right here is the shitty part. And it moves slow. and you're making progress, sometimes taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you're doing these things, but you are moving up this slope. And if you can stick through the long game, you will hit the curve and shoot up. That's the reason people don't get wealthy. It's bottom line, because they can't do things now and do them consistently enough to just say, hey, I just got to keep doing this thing and repeat and repeat and repeat until I hit this goal, right? Do the principles and enjoy things like repetition. Enjoy doing things over and over so they get ingrained in your mind, right? So I just want you, I'm establishing these principles because at the end of the day, the reason that you would want to be an entrepreneur, I would think, is to be financially free. So you have to build wealth in order to do that. That's what really entrepreneurship is to me, right? It's to control your wealth, control your outcome, right? Rather than be in a rat race or in that hamster wheel where you don't have an avenue out. Okay. So rise of the real estate entrepreneur. So this right here is most realtors' retirement plan. Okay. Okay. If you could see that, this is most realtors' retirement plan. It's do deals forever. Do deals forever. Okay. But as you know, this is not sustainable. We cannot do deals forever. What if something happens to us, right? What if we're just sick of it? What if I'm just tired, right? It's not good. And so, and for an average agent, right? Somebody who's not thinking like an entrepreneur, there's nothing wrong with being an agent. We say death of the agent, rise of the real estate entrepreneur, not because an agent is bad, is because that agent has to grow out of that employee mindset. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. So this is not sustainable. We all agree on that? Okay, so the business cannot be purely transactional because it only depends on you. And no business owner is building a business so it would be solely dependent on me. That's not owning a business. That means you're self-employed, right? That means you just gave yourself a job. We can't do that. You can't scale that, okay? So this is the typical trajectory of what most agents believe to be the rise of the entrepreneur. Right? You start as an agent, okay? And you start, ideally, obviously you want that agent to be a top producer. Guys, you're in an industry where you can make a shit ton of money, you should be making it. Like, that's step one. Step one is you need to get your business up, right? You need to put money in the bank. You need to get your business going. I know I'm gonna give you the projected view, but at the end of the day, you gotta start here. Okay, top producer. And I'll show you how I'm gonna combine being an investor and an agent at the end of this presentation, okay? So you're gonna become an agent, you're gonna become a top producer, okay? The next trajectory most people will think is, okay, well, I don't want to continue just to do transactions. What if I were to build a team and they do transactions and I get a cut of those transactions, okay? So now it is entrepreneurial in nature, but it's not an easy decision. We'll talk about team leaders in a second, okay? Because that's the natural trajectory. Most agents will think that way. Most entrepreneurial agents. There's some agents that just want to do transactions. Like I could show them this presentation, then they're like, no, I think I can do deals forever. And I'm like, okay, good luck on that track, okay? And then you're going to have this other bright idea. Wait, what if I got my broker's license and I became a broker? Then I can really be a business owner, right? I can really be an entrepreneur, okay? And we're going to talk about being a broker too, okay? Here's what I need to tell you. You can't take an employee mindset into entrepreneurship, okay? This is what's gonna hold you back the most in your real estate business is the fact that you are thinking like you used to think. Yeah, I'm looking at you now. You caught my eye right when I said that, Ron. We've had this talk before, right? You can't take that mindset into entrepreneurship, right? One thing I was telling Veronica the other day is like, look, if you don't risk anything, you don't get anything. That's just it. I mean, if you're searching for comfort, man, it's gonna be a rough road. Right? So don't take this employee mindset into entrepreneurship, right? So we have to start switching it. So that's what we're going to work on. Okay? So let me just tell you what the agent employee thinks about. Okay? These are their mindset, their structure. Okay? They're thinking every dollar I spend loses me money, right? They're protecting everything that I don't know, spend on this. Everything loses me money. I just try and protect. Those are the people that aren't will say, hey, I'm trying to save, I'm going to join another brokerage because this is $85 a month. Okay. The people who say that look at it as losing money. I'm losing $85 a month. That's how they think, rather than investing in a culture, investing in a wealth building platform, investing in your business. They don't think like that. They think, I'm going to save 85 bucks a month and I'm going to go somewhere else so I can do zero business there. That's what they're thinking, okay? The agent employee says being busy means I'm getting shit done, right? I'm doing a lot of stuff, you know, I made my cards, you know, I did this, you know, I'm doing a lot of bells and whistles. Hey, I heard about this new thing. I just started playing with it today, whatever the case may be. And that's what they do. And they're busy, 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 but they're not actually getting stuff done, right? You can't mistake movement for achievement, okay? Number 3, they think things like, I'm supposed to be perfect at things I've never done. Like, to me, this is the craziest thing. Like, from coaching agents, I didn't realize how many people actually think they're supposed to be great at something they've never done. It's incredible. Like it doesn't even make sense, right? Like when you're a kid, this is not how things work. Like you sucked at walking, you sucked at talking, right? You sucked at baseball when you started, right? But like you practiced it, right? And then over the practice and the repetitions, you got better. But for some reason, maybe when you cross like 12 or 13, we start thinking like, hey, I'm supposed to step into places and be great. Like I've never done this shit, but I'm supposed to be perfect. And when you're not perfect, what do? You beat yourself up. I'm a screw up. Maybe I don't got what it takes. Maybe all this stuff. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Hey man, I suck at phones. Everybody hangs up on me. How many calls you make? 10? How many people you have to speak to? 2? I've heard this shit. I was like, you don't suck at it. You don't have enough repetitions, okay? All right, and you'll hear things like, maybe this industry is just not for me, right? Start to blame the industry. It ain't you, it's the industry. That's how an employee thinks. Hey, this is not for me. But I could tell you that I believe that real estate's one of the closest industries to life, and it pays you. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to try to at least be good at this, right? Like, if I could save kids from going to college, right? My dream is, let me catch them at 18 before they drop 100 grand on some shit they're not going to use. If I could catch them there, I could bring them in. Matter of fact, I think we have probably one of the youngest cultures here, by the way. One of the youngest cultures. I mean, like I got a 19-year-old. You're what? 19. I got another 19-year-old on the squad. You know, I got him at 23. Like, people are starting to realize that this is where you get your real education. You can graduate real estate if you do this well. If you commit to being a professional at this, you will be better with people. You will be better at marketing. You will know how to read contracts. You will know how to negotiate. You wouldn't know how to build a business because you're going to have to build it for yourself. You're an entrepreneur now, right? You're the head of marketing. You're the CEO, right? You're going to have to scale this business. So why wouldn't you? This is education that pays, right? Like, you go to college, you dump all this shit to learn for people who've never done the shit. You come out with a diploma, you never use the diploma. Here, you get paid to do it. You get paid to learn real life business and entrepreneurial skills. So why don't you treat it like that? Wouldn't the game be a lot more fun if you thought that way? Once you understand what you're building every time you do a repetition, if you understood that. Okay, so agent owner. This is how an agent owner thinks. So I told you, something wrong being an agent, but you got to be an agent owner. You got to be an agent entrepreneur. The mindset starts now. Okay, this is what they believe. If I want to grow faster, I have to invest in my business. Right? That's how an entrepreneur thinks. An entrepreneur says, hey, I know this costs this, but it's an investment. I'm going to get a return on my investment. Those leads that I bought, that's a return on my investment. If I spend $500 on leads on making it rain this month, I have to close like a quarter of a deal, maybe less, to make this shit back. If you don't have enough faith in yourself and your business, that's what we've got to work on, okay? Next thing, continually ask yourself, is this a dollar productive activity? So I've been thinking a lot about this, and I'm part of this wealth group, and there's something he said the other day that made a lot of sense, and it's return on effort. I'm looking at things that have the highest return on effort, which we would call a dollar productive activity, right? So a dollar productive activity is a conversation with a potential buyer or seller. That's it. That's what it is, right? So to me, you might say, well, I don't feel like doing an open house, but to me, I'm like, wait, I could sit somewhere for 4 hours, have leads walk in, I can build a relationship in person, and I can leave here with leads. Plus, I bring my computer and do my work. Like, to me, that's a high ROE activity. That's a high return on effort. I could be building my website there. Somebody walks in, whatever, meet them, boom, write down their name, got a client, cool. Have showing set up after. So that's what I'm saying is I'm always evaluating that. And if you ever get caught off track, you got to always be, is this a dollar productive activity or am I avoiding the dollar productive activities? Because I know what a dollar productive activity is, connecting with somebody face to face. How am I getting to more of those at-bats? Okay. Agent owner. Okay. The agent owner believes the best way to learn is to play the game. Okay. The best way to learn is to play the game. Okay. I could give you a book on baseball, but until you get on the field, you're not really going to know what baseball's like, right? You could read like, hey, the balls come at you really fast when you're at the plate, when somebody knows how to pitch, and then you swing it and you hit it, and then you get up there and you're like, whoo, this is totally different, right? So you might as well get in there and get rid of that fear, right? You get rid of the fear, you get more confidence by playing the game. So the biggest mistake that agents make is they're waiting to learn everything before they start playing the game. The game starts now. The game isn't real estate, the game is people, and you need to start connecting with them right today, right? Let me ease some pressure off of you. You're not gonna have to do a lot of stuff in the moment anywhere in real estate. You get time to prep, right? The thing you need to do initially is build a relationship. Ask somebody their story. Ask them what they're about. Ask them what their goals are. Ford method, right? Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. If you do that first, people just want to do business with their friends. Dude, David, you guys are awesome dudes. Like, if I knew you, there would be no question I would give you my real estate business. I just need to know you're in real estate business. I mean, I got a guy right now looking for $1.5 million property. Makes money in one area of life, but looks at me and is like, dude, I am totally stupid about real estate. Whatever you say, Bob, that's what I'm doing. Right? That's nice, but all of you have the ability. You guys think that you're going to help this person out. They don't know. And you're with a group that does know. Right? And we teach you to research your stuff and be a professional, right? You're going to help this person, right? So the best way to learn is to play the game. Don't delay getting in the game. Start talking to people immediately. If anybody who just got in, whatever hesitation you have to this, tell the world that you're in the game, stop. Ends today. Because I want to do business with that smile. I want to do business with that smile. Yeah, I do. People want to just do it. People don't want to work with people they don't know. They're looking for a vibe and a feeling. They're not looking for how much you know. Okay, but we're going to make sure we treat them right and we do the right things for them. And then finally, this comes back to ownership. So an agent owner thinks my success is my responsibility, right? No matter the resources that are provided or not, there's many different brokerages don't provide as much as we do. We take pride in what we do here, right? We take pride in that rockstar agent wall. We take pride in our seminar and our seminar and coaching classes of what we do, right? But it is not the reason you're going to, that shit's on you. Right? I can't make you guys show up. Kudos to you. It's Friday, right? You showed up. That's your responsibility, right? The resources are going to be all around you, okay? But you got to step up, and it's your choice. So here's some life and wealth actions you can take, right? Just do it, okay? First of all, so this is talking to the agent entrepreneur, right? The agent owner, okay? This is what you need to be thinking about right now to get yourself to that next level, right? Number one is, how can I put systems in place like a CRM so you can make more while doing less? Who wants to do less and get more? Me too. Me too. Do less, get more. I love it. I love it. And you know how you do that? You put systems in place. The systems take a little time. You're going to have to really say, hey, this is an important part of my business, and I'm going to dedicate the time to learn this system because this system makes me a shit ton of money, right? Maybe I slow down a little bit, take a few days off just to work on my CRM. KV Core, the one that EXP provides, guys, it's just this powerful tool that people pay $500 a month to have. You have it for your 85, right? And you're not using it. And it's really about organization. It's really about freeing you. You're going to spend a little bit of time to set it up, but it will free you. It will organize you. It will market for you when you're sleeping, right? Sending that drip campaign out, sending those mass texts out, landing pages that you put up, created yourself right there easily in KV Core to have people look on there. Hey, they want their home valuation. They come in there, your fucking text message goes off at 7 p.m. and you're like, oh shit, got a seller lead. Okay. Number 2 is you need to join a group, a club, or organization where you're the dumbest and poorest person in the room or close to it. Okay? Yes, even if it costs money. Matter of fact, those are the best groups most of the time, right? If you research the group, if you pay to be a part of the group, remember it's a filter system. It's going to be a higher level of person in there because there's a barrier to entry, right? But the vibe's still got to be good. The culture still got to be good. But this is something that I avoided doing for a long time. I mean, I've invested more into personal development and groups like this in the past 5 years than I did in my last, whatever, how many years I've been alive, 30 something years, right? So, and it's made all the difference, by the way. I mean, if you talk to Gil and about the time we went to Tony Robbins for the first time, like how it just shifted. I mean, like that was 5 years ago. And since then it's been like, man, but this, I was part of that group called Access. I joined a group that I'm paying a hefty amount a month to be a part of. But man, I'm in a room of millionaires, man. And the thinking is totally different, right? It's just like, I was like, I heard him on stage. I was there 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas listening to, you guys ever heard of NFTs, right? Tokens, right? Blockchain, all this shit, right? Well, that, they're doing digital playing cards, right? It's called NBA Top Shots. So now you can actually have, instead of, you used to have baseball cards and trade them. Now you trade digital tokens, right? So it's like a LeBron dunk and it's yours. It's like you bought this thing that you can trade out like cards. It blows your mind. Well, the guy who invented the term NFTs on stage, that's NBA Top Shot, he's talking about blockchain. And I'm just like, I was like, dude, I don't get that, at Wall Street on a Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't get it, So that's the kind of stuff that it can do for you. This is huge. So agent owner, listen to me, because you can get wealthy even just being an agent owner. If you don't pass this point, you can do it. Okay? Tia, our top producer, makes a shit ton of money in real estate. Now, I don't know what she's doing with it, but if she's doing what I'm about to tell you to do, she's gonna be fine. She doesn't need to do anything else but what she's doing right now, and she can be wealthy, or at least financially free, having your money making money, okay? So, first off, make a shit ton, right? Make a lot. Do the things that I'm telling you to become a top producer. Start building that thing. Understand that you can do this thing and you can bring in a lot of income. Number 2 is live on a little, okay? Live on a fraction of what you're making. Stack chips. This is super fucking important. You got to stack chips while you're here. This is a growth phase. This is your income engine. Boom, set it aside. Set it aside. Set that aside, right? Live off a fraction. Maybe do it automatically. That's what people do now. They do it automatically right out their account. Hey, $2,000 a month coming out, $1,000, $500, whatever. Okay? And then invest the rest. Okay? I'll talk about investing at the very end. Okay? So don't worry about it. We'll get deeper into the investment part, but you have to invest the rest. Okay? You really have to invest the rest because the money can't sit there. It's not going to earn you money. The whole point is for your money to make money. And then you're going to repeat. This never stops, by the way. This never stops. This is just a cycle. You start making a whole lot more down the road. None of this shit matters, right? But the next one is agent owners, study wealth and success. It sounds really simple, guys, but I could tell you that until my last maybe 10 years that I've been really actually studying like financial things and the stock, like you got to start studying this stuff. This is a whole science and an art, and there's different types of investments. Like I said, we'll talk about it at the end, but you got to study wealth. You got to study. Tony Robbins says success leaves clues, right? I'll give you a great example, guys. I used to do stuff in the music industry, right? And one of the great ideas that I had was I wanted to throw a music industry seminar, right? So like in hip hop and R&B and stuff all over the country, major cities like Atlanta, stuff like that, they do these big seminars where they bring guys from the labels in, they have people performing, they have panels and all that stuff. So I was like, man, I'm gonna throw a conference, right? Tried it out, lost my ass, right? Spent a ton of money. It was a disaster money-wise for me. And I was like depressed. I was like, never doing this again, okay? Then my business partner at the time convinced me to do it again like 2 years later. And I was like, well, we know now what we did wrong the first time, how we can shift things out. Did it the second time and made zero money. right? But it was better than losing money, right? So at least I had some progress, right? But I was still very depressed. I was very dejected by the fact that I didn't hit this mark, right? And like I said, I used to do some stuff in the entertainment industry, and there was this like independent film director guy, and I was at his house, and they were editing video, and I'm sitting there, and I see this book that says like how to run your first seminar, and I'm looking at it, and he's like, oh, you want that book? You want to run the first seminar? And I looked at this book, and I was like, what kind of asshole does 2 seminars and never picks up a book about how to do seminars and just assumes that I'm going to figure this shit out? Like nobody's done it before. Like I just reinvented the freaking wheel. And at that very moment, I was like, okay, I'm never doing that shit again. I'm never embarking on anything that I haven't at least picked up a book, an article, a podcast, or something about, because it's all readily available to you. I chose not to do it for some asshole reason. Okay? So study this shit. Okay? People have already done all the mistakes for you. They're telling you how to do it. Okay? And then the last one, and I got to say this, like, it seems, same thing. It seems like, no brainer. But none of this shit matters if you're dead, guys. Like, if you're not taking care of your body, your health, if you don't make that a top priority, like, then just forget about that. Like, why are we even playing the game, right? Most people sacrifice their health to build wealth and then sacrifice their wealth to get their health back. Okay? Can't do that, guys. Plus, when you're building an agent owner, when you're an entrepreneur, hey, you guys need some energy. This shit ain't easy, right? Like, you see me amped up like this? This is me every day. I have to be like this every day. Every day, Jordan. Okay? So take care of your body. You need the energy. You need the confidence. And none of it matters unless you're dead. Okay? So here are the long game results. Here's what you're going to see happen if you follow this plan. Okay? If you start thinking like an agent owner, this should be the long game results. Number 1, you should have money cushion in your bank. Okay? We'll talk about money cushions later on too. But money cushions are an amazing thing. Okay? You shouldn't be living paycheck. That's a shitty desperation way to live. It really is. Okay? So you're going to have money cushion in your bank. Okay? You have started, long game results, you have started to have your money making you money. So you started to get in some investments, right? You could have started small. When you're starting at the beginning, maybe you do some stuff just to get in the game, right? If you're shit scared, you might do something just to get in the game. Like, not a music seminar. That's a shitty investment. Actually, we could find, hey, I got to even. Next one says trajectory. I might make some money, right? Okay, so the next one is you have a steady flow of business without having to start from scratch each month, okay? So the agent entrepreneurs, if you set those systems up like I told you, if you set your marketing up, right? Set it all up. So a lot of it's automated and you follow that track, you're never going to be researching for business again, right? So you don't have the ups and downs of the game, because that's what happens, right? You guys will start doing well and you do what all smart people do when you do something well. You stop doing it, Oh yeah, this all worked, right? I got the result. Okay, everything that I did before, I'm gonna stop doing. Can't do that, right? But you can make it easier on yourself. Obviously, when you're starting off, everything's clunky, right? Everything takes a lot of work, but guess what? As you get better at real estate, some things start to become really smooth. But those systems in place, right? And your systems for following up with people and adding value to your clients, you get those things set up, you'll never lack for business, okay? And then the long game result is you becoming a professional at your craft, right? Repetition is the mother of skill, right? I used to hate repetition. The idea, like I hate painting, right? Because you have to paint a wall and then you have to repaint. Like you have to putting multiple coats always bothered me, right? Until I realized the power of repetition. And I realized that this is just an exercise, right? Like, even though I want to hear it again, right? If you want to teach classes here, you're going to be clunky your first time, right? But you're going to do it again. And I want to do it again. And I want to do it again. And then you're going to be like, hey, I need more opportunities to do this again, because every time I do this, I get a little bit better. I get a new tool. I get stronger. I like this. I don't try to judge appointments and things like that. I'm like, oh, I get another at bat. I get another repetition. I don't care how this meeting goes. I'm just going in blind and seeing if I can create a relationship, right? Seeing if I can ask great questions and build a bond here and learn something. Maybe I can make some money, even if it's not real estate, just by the connection that I made. That's how I go into it, with that kind of opportunity, okay? Okay, so now you're gonna come to the crossroads, right? So we're going through this trajectory, right? Your agent owner, right? We killed the agent employee. That's a dead agent, right? The agent owner is alive and well, and he's making money. And then you're going to come to this crossroads, Corinne, right? You're going to be standing there like, oh, what's next, man? Like, you know, hey, you might decide, I'm good. Like I said, if I was Tia, and, you know, I've talked to Tia several times, she doesn't need to have like great investment knowledge. She needs like one vehicle to put that money in that's just slow and steady. And she just needs to continue to stack chips in that. She's making enough money to do that. Okay. Now you're going to have a decision to make. Okay. So at the crossroads, I'm going to show you the questions that happen at the crossroads for an entrepreneur. Okay. You're going to start asking yourself some questions. The question most entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs to me that's really our core. I believe that we're all meant to be entrepreneurs. We're growers, right? Like God created us to do that, right? So at a deep down level, you always want to try to go to that, and you're always going to be thinking like, what is after this, right? You don't want to stay stagnant, because progress equals happiness. Every time you get stagnant, you get unhappy. You know you do, all right? So entrepreneurs are going to say, what's the next level I can go, right? You're going to start questioning. Hey, is there another level? Is there a way I can scale this, right? Can I be making even more money with the same effort? Okay, so this is the tough one, guys. This is going to be a tough one for somebody, because one of the hardest things to do is convince somebody who's doing well that they can do better, right? So if I'm talking to a broker and I'm trying to get them to, you know, join our movement, whatever the case may be, and I know he's making money, or he's a team leader, he's making a lot of money, I got to show that, like, it's harder to convince somebody like that, because they're like, I don't want to stop the train, right? I got this thing going. But you're going to ask yourself as an entrepreneur, could I get a better return on effort, right? So I'm doing a lot of work, I'm making a lot of money, but Tia might ask herself, how do I get more return on effort? She will ask herself that. I don't think she'll be able to do that many transactions as she's doing. One day she's going to be like, let me shift my business, right? Next one, how do I scale what I'm doing? So in other words, how do I stop trading hours for dollars? So I joined a multi-level business when I was 21 years old, right? And what I love about multi-levels is they're big on personal development, right? So I was reading all these amazing books and different things. And one of the lines that they used to always say is stop trading hours for dollars, right? Right? It's return on effort, right? You can't keep trading hours for dollars. There's only so many hours. Time is the currency, right? I can't just give away my time. I have to find better ways to make more money with the time that I've got, okay? So how do I scale? How do I make this bigger without me having to do more personally, okay? And the next one you're going to ask yourself is, how do I create other income streams, right? If you guys read success books, you know that almost every wealthy person has multiple income streams. Matter of fact, I've read somewhere they average 7 income streams, okay? Got money coming from here, money coming from here, money coming from here. It's like a diversified portfolio of income, because at any point in time, one of them can get wiped out. But I got the other 6 or the other 5. That's how an entrepreneur thinks. Entrepreneur thinks things are going to change. I'm going to be ready. Okay. So we're going to talk about the team leader now. Okay. So this is, once again, the traditional natural trajectory of a top producer. If you get an agent owner, you become a top producer, you're going to start thinking to yourself, well, the next entrepreneurial venture could be a team leader. Okay. So for those who don't know what a team leader does, here's kind of an explanation. Number one is recruits good people, hungry people. Right? So you got to be good at spotting talent, right? People who have some kind of hunger. You know, I was talking to Gil about this the other day, and it's really hard to take somebody who just doesn't have any motivation, like it's just any motivation at all, right? Like doesn't have a desire at all, or it's just so deep in the story, right? I kind of liken it to a car. Like if the car you give me is on blocks without an engine, like I'm probably not gonna get that thing running. Right? But if you give me something that's at least running or has run before, I can do something with that, right? What Gil says is, if you've had success somewhere else, I can realign you again with your success here, right? So that's what you're looking for. What you're looking for is at least people who have that drive in them or have had success somewhere else. And I just need to be like, hey, the shit you did here works here. Just move it right into real estate, okay? So the next thing a team leader does is invest in leads, CRM, staff, and other tools. So this is a business now. Remember, you kind of went from that lean startup as an agent, And now you're saying, okay, now I have to invest in this business. This is a new business I'm creating. It's not like you just continue to be an agent type of thing. I'm going to have to spend some money. You're going to have to buy the leads. You're going to have to buy the platform, the CRM that the leads will run and siphon through, very similar to KV Core. You're going to have to potentially have staff, somebody to manage the team. You're going to have to have some expenses there if you need it. When you start off, you might be everybody. And then at some point, you might start bringing in some staff, and you're going to have other tools that you're going to need, third-party tools. Like on our team, we have BombBomb and things like this that we know increase conversion, okay? The next thing that the team leader will do is provide coaching and mentorship resources, okay? So obviously, you're bringing in talent, you got to coach them, right? So that's part of the value proposition, right, is to have a coaching platform. It doesn't have to be you as a team leader. You can get other people to coach, but it has to be that. Right? If you want to produce the most as a team leader, and then create a strong team culture, right? And this has a lot to do with the people you choose, right? Like I love our squad. We got great people, great energy. They're meeting each other outside of the normal meeting times. They're starting to form those bonds together. Understand that like that part of the power of a team is the energy that we feed off of each other. Okay, so and then you basically repeat. You're always going to have to be finding talent, right? People will graduate. People will want to do something else. Something will happen along the way. So you're going to have to continue to be looking for great people who want to continue. Some people might want to start a team, and it's great. The great thing about Gil and I is we run an interesting type of team. Like it's really about the agent, right? There's a lot of teams out there that put the team leader's name on all the listings, on all the deals. They don't give the agents the credit, and they want the agent to stay in as long as possible. With me and Gil, it's like you stay a year, and then you tell us. What do you want to do? You want to be a team leader? You want to build this brand? You want to grow your organization, right? So that's what a team leader does. What's up with this thing? So here's the benefits. You're going to help agents produce fast. Helping people make money is fun. It is. I love helping people make money, right? I mean, I don't know how many stories I've seen of people. I mean, I've seen a couple of them in this room that have done really well. And when they started, it was a struggle, like we all were, right? We were all in the struggle. There's nothing better to see people come out of the struggle, right? To see them in the struggle, see them stick with it, right? The shitty part of the curve, and then get to the other side. It's the best thing to do, right? But from a purely practical standpoint, obviously, production fast means more income, right? And if you're in the model that we're in, it's very important that agents produce. Our companies run on production. Whatever anybody says out there, nothing works without closing a shit ton of deals. So we're going to close a shit ton of deals. And having an engine like a team to help people close deals is important. Okay? Doesn't have to happen. Remember, you could stop at agent owner. I'm just telling you, if you're thinking about this, this is what the benefits are. You're going to create another profitable income stream. Remember we talked about income streams? Here's one. Here's a new one. You could still be produced, by the way. You might produce less, but you have that income stream, and now you have another income stream that isn't solely dependent on the time that you put into doing your own deals. Okay, you're going to get to have a deep impact, and I want to introduce this residual income. It's an important term. The whole goal is residual income. Financial freedom could basically equal residual income because the whole point is that your money's making money, right? That's residual income. Whatever, or your buildings are making money, whatever it is, it's your money making money. Right? That's what residual income is. And wealthy people, you're not going to get free unless that happens, because then you'll still have to work, right? I'm trying to free you, right? So have a deep impact. You get to have a deep impact on a close group of people. I think that's what I love the most, right? You have a deep impact on a close group of people that you can see, like I said, that kind of from the struggle, from 0 to 100, and you get to see them rise. And you should be able to create, if you do this right, you should be able to create more time freedom. And remember, the currency is time, right? Create more time freedom. You might use it to create another income stream. You might use it to go to your child's soccer games, but it's freedom. It's yours, right? Okay. So here are the challenges. Okay. Takes time and resources to start a team. I'm just giving you the thing. You might want to do it. You might not want to do it, but now you know what a team is. I guess so many people have no idea what a team is, right? Because people throw that term around loosely. It's like, oh, I joined the alliance team. I'm like, no, you joined the kind of family, but that's not really a team. I won't go through that. Okay. So here's the challenges. It takes time and resources to start a team, so you do have to invest that money. Number two is if you're still producing when you start, your production will probably drop, right? So you're going to lose some of your income while you build this. So it's kind of a double whammy at the beginning, right? You're spending more and making less. So you have to be able to survive this, okay? Okay, that's why cushions are important. Might not be profitable for a while. Plan on 6-month minimum. So you're going to be in the red for 6 months, maybe more. Like if you have no coaching at all, you might, what happens most of the time, to be honest with you, is an agent thinks that they can run a team, right? And just because you're a good agent doesn't mean you're a good manager, coach, operator. They'll come in, they'll start spending money. Let's say they start spending $3,000 a month or whatever they start spending on the team. By month 3, if nothing's closed because they're just like trying to do all this stuff, they'll just stop, right? So $9,000 just went away, got some leads for it, but they're like, the team doesn't work. Well, you didn't plan for 6, right? And if you don't have coaching, if you have somebody kind of guiding you through this, you're going to have a lot of pitfalls. So the good thing is that Gil's run award-winning teams. We're running a new soon-to-be award-winning team. So we have some training here for you guys when it comes to that. Gil's actually doing classes for team leaders, right? So that's really cool, right? If this is an entrepreneurial venture you want, we got it, okay? And then the other thing is that you wear a lot of hats, at least at the beginning, right? Recruiter, manager, coach, right? You might not have the skill set, right? You might be great at doing things on your own, but you can't explain them for shit, right? Or you just can't deal with people, or you can't deal with the ups and downs, right? Who knows? But if you can, this might be for you. What I would say is, this could be a great option, but don't make the decision lightly. Like I said, I've seen a lot of agents start this and realize, I just want to be on my own. Like, I don't want to deal with this, it's a headache, whatever the case may be, but it can be profitable if you do it right. So there's another income stream right there. All right. So let's talk about a broker. Let's talk about what's great about being a broker. Nothing. Nothing is great about being a broker, okay? There's literally nothing. Were you a broker? What's your name, man? What's your name?
Jeff.
Jeff, were you a broker before? Okay, but you seem to understand this. Why do you understand this so much? Well, I can see it.
My family's been in it.
Tell me what's bad about it.
You just have all the responsibility on your shoulders. You're dealing with everybody else's problems on a daily, hourly basis. And the slightest, easiest question, they're still going to come and ask it.
Right.
Nonstop.
Okay, so it's a lot. It's a lot. You're running this operation, right? So okay, so there are some things that I can tell you are good about being a broker. So I don't want to be a dick about it, okay? But I really don't think this is the best route for anybody. I really don't, right? Especially for what I'm going to explain at the end. So we're going to do a transition at the end. I'll explain some different things to you when it comes to the model. What's that?
When you're a broker, you're a broker.
That's right. We're going to talk about that in a minute. You beat me to it. Okay, so here's the good stuff, okay? You keep 100% of your commission, okay? You can, okay? But if you're purely thinking about transactions, then you probably shouldn't do a brokerage. Just go to 100% brokerage. Just do that if that's what you want to do. Don't get into this shit and then so you can keep 100% of your commission. And by the way, if that's all you care about, you're not an entrepreneur, right? And by the way, why would you settle for 100%, right? It's a low standard, right? Could you be creating more income than that 100% from what you're doing, right? Could you be leveraging? Could you be investing? Could you create other income streams that actually make you 150%, 160%? I know we can because I'm going to show you in a little bit, okay? So you can say you're a broker, which is awesome, guys. You know, it's a lot of significance that come. People get their broker's license so they can say they're brokers, right? And if you don't want to actually be a broker, just get the title. I ain't mad at you. Just, you know, in our model, you're just going to be a broker associate. But I mean, you can say it, but it's just a significance thing, right? I'm a broker, okay? And then you're going to get some residual income. And I say some because you're in a model where there's a revolving door, right? So when you're in a typical brokerage model, right? What are you doing as a broker? You're recruiting, right? Hopefully you have some help, but if you're a little independent, you probably don't. You're spending a shit ton of time trying to recruit a shit ton of agents. And if you're lucky enough to be good at that, you're going to spend a shit ton of time training them, and then they're going to leave you. Because sometimes there's just not more for you to offer them besides just being a broker, okay? And it's a one-level model. It's just a rotating door. You recruited 20, 5 leave, you got to find 5. And it's just over and over, and there's no scalability to that. And it's solely depending on you, okay? Or maybe somebody helps you hire those people, okay? So here's the shit they don't tell you about being a broker, okay? Once you're a broker, you're the one they sue. Congratulations, you got your broker's license. Congratulations, here's a lawsuit. It's not an if, it's a when, right? You're gonna get sued. Congratulations, it's awesome being a broker. It's fucking awesome. Okay, number 2 is you're gonna have to spend some money. Office space, insurance, staff, coffee, lights. Did you know all this shit costs money? I know it does. It costs money. It costs a lot of money. Okay, so you know, and you don't have to provide these things, but you know, it's hard. It's hard to be a broker if you don't have some of these things. Yeah, that's not the right word. You wear all the hats unless you have help, recruiter, manager, trainer, compliance. So now you have 5 jobs. Congratulations. You're a broker now. Great. You got to recruit. Great. Make sure that you're compliant. Great. Make sure you don't get sued. Awesome. Make sure that you manage your office. Great. Oh, who's training the agents? Okay, you got to do that shit too. Okay, cool. So I'm getting all these hats, and what am I getting? Only 100%? 100% of what? You don't even have time to do those things, right? The other thing is, and we don't talk about this anymore, think about it. It's very hard to scale a brokerage. Okay, so if I get this office here and I'm in Orlando and my connections are here in Orlando and I'm in a typical brokerage model, okay? A typical brokerage model with the infrastructures here in Orlando, how do I open up in Indiana? Okay, I got to go to Indiana. I got to start recruiting there. I got to get an office there. I got to get systems in place there. It is a shit show. And I'm probably not even doing well at the one that I'm at to even scale that, right? It's an old model. The brokerage model is old and it's clunky, okay? So it's just not easy to scale this across the country or anywhere else, even in the surrounding cities, okay? And you worry every day that agents are leaving you, right? It's that revolving door. That's what you worry about every day, right? Because you spend all this time recruiting people, and guess what? If you recruit 20 people at a normal brokerage or anything like that, there's 10% of them, 15% are your producers. You don't have to have everybody walk out the door. It's just those 2 people that account for all of your income. And then they walk out, that income is gone. Okay? That's why the dirty secret is brokers are broke. That's the dirty secret. That there's very few really profitable. They got all this expenses, they got all this overhead. They're having to produce just to make a little bit more than what they were doing before. They might be like me when I first started a mortgage company. I thought that 6 months in, I thought it was cool. I had the thing, I'm a business owner now. 6 months in, I should have stayed a freaking mortgage broker. I'm hiring, I'm firing, I'm the CFO now. I'm doing all this stuff. I got a $23,000 a year lease. I was like, why the F did I do this shit? I was literally, 6 months in, I was like, never again. Well, same thing, just like the freaking seminar. I just went into it, never read a book on owning a mortgage company or what it took. Right? If I would have written a book, I would have been like, oh, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to close deals and make money. Right? Okay? So brokers are broke. Now, some are successful, not all of them. Gil Ramos was a very successful broker. That's why that should be your best story to tell any major person. You say, like, if you're willing to implode a successful business in order to grow a bigger business, you have to have seen a great opportunity. That's hard to do. Trust me. I was there for the whole thing. So it's not easy to do. So that's the reality is if you meet somebody and they're an independent broker and they got 6 agents, they're producing. They're doing their own deals. Those agents aren't doing much for them. You guys understand that, right? Okay. Broker tip. So if you do choose this route, okay, I'm just going to give you one tip. At least add some value, right? It can't just be, I'm a broker, hang your license with me. Because that's just dead. There's too many options. You got to add something of value on top of it. Okay, if you're going to do that route, I don't suggest you do because of the things I'm going to explain to you. Okay, so at least add massive value. So we've gone through the traditional trajectory of the normal business cycle, right? A normal entrepreneurial mindset of an agent, team leader, and a broker. So you're asking, is there another level? Are those the only 3 things? No. Not, right? There's a movement happening in real estate. Most of you guys know about it, right? and most of you guys are already in the crew. So like I said, I'm going to start going here in a minute into the EXP and explaining that model, because it actually combines the best things from agent, broker, and team leader. Okay? When you look at it from an entrepreneurial perspective. Here's the thing. People get too caught up in emotional things in business. You can't be emotional about business. It's about the opportunity, and you should be open to hearing all opportunities, no matter what you heard about anything, right? I think you're a nice guy. If you tell me that, you know, Long back there is a terrible person, I'll be like, I'll make note of that, but I'm going to meet Long myself and see if what you're saying is true. You understand? So people need to be open-minded about this, and you need to talk to people, say, hey, look, this is a purely business decision. We're going to explain that in a minute. So you're going to understand more in a second. So, but I want to leave you guys, for those who don't want to learn more about the EXP model, I'm going to leave you guys with some investment stuff. So let's go back to the long game. Let's go back to the long game. So the long game is about investing. That's what that means. It means you do things now for a high return later, right? And so let's get back to the long game. So you want to invest. So I'm going to show you some things to invest in. I get a lot of questions about what to invest in. Okay. Okay. Warning, real quick warning. I am not a financial advisor. Okay. I'm just going to tell you my opinions on a couple of things, and you guys can decide what you're going to do. Okay. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you what my opinions are. Okay. So investment wise, this is a question I get sometimes. I get a younger agent, somebody starting off, and they say, Bobby, I have 10 grand in the bank. What should I invest in? 10 grand? You ain't gonna get rich off investing 10 grand. You will get rich if you invest in you though. Because at this level, you need to learn some skills to make that into 100 grand. So, hey guys, that's cool, you got 10 grand. That goes into that build conference we got coming up in August. That goes to you hiring a coach. That goes to you going to Tony Robbins. That's going to you, going to 10X conference, whatever it is. You're going to invest in your education. You're going to invest in opportunity. That 10 grand could be used to get into that high level club I told you to pay for. It's a market. That's an expense for your business. That's not a cost. Right? If I can get around sharp guys like you, Peter, and I can do that regularly once a week in some club that I join, and it costs me $500 every 6 months, do it. Your product is people anyway. So you're not only going to expand your mind, I'm going to get deals. I get deals everywhere I go because my product is people. I get deals at the gym. I get deals at the supermarket. I get deals at the organization that I get deals from friends introducing me to friends at parties. I get deals because people are what give you deals, right? So invest in you first 10. And by the way, this could be also your business, right? This could be leads. Things aren't moving fast enough, no problem. Invest some money into your leads. Let's start making some calls. Let's start making some connections. Oh, I came from another state. I don't know anybody. Fuck you. Buy some leads. Make some friends. Okay? So I have 40K saved. What should I invest in? I have 40K saved. What should I invest in? I think you should invest in your cushion. What I mean by that is you need some breathing room. Okay? You should have some kind of set amount that you guys are going to put away for shit happening. Okay? So you never have to be in a purely desperational, I need money moment. You understand that? You make shitty decisions desperate. You make great decisions when you don't have to make the decision because you chose the decision. The only way I know how to do that is to put some money in your bank so that you don't have that issue. So your first goal might not be to buy the house. It might just be to set that marker. Hey, I'm good here. All right, now I can start taking some chances. Now I can start going after these kind of deals. Or now I can structure my business a certain way because I feel very calm about the way that I'm building my business. Oh, my car broke down, no problem. How much is it? $2,000? Okay, it sucks, but I got 40. So I'm good. And then you replenish it back. Does that make sense? This is how I ended up coming here. I would not be back in real estate if I hadn't had a cushion. Okay. And this is an arbitrary number, by the way. It could be 30 for you, whatever your number is. You know, I like that number, 40. I do. I get 40 in bank. I feel like, hey, man, world could end. I'm gonna survive on that. I'm single. I ain't got no kids, right? For some of you, it might be more, okay, with all the dang kids you guys got, okay? So that's important. So you got your cushion. The reason I'm here at this brokerage is because I left a place that I had made some money in, and I put $42,000 aside. And I did it on purpose. Just save the money, save the money, save this money. And then when I left there, I was like, I'm not making any decision until I feel it. I'm not making any decision until I feel it, because I don't have to make a decision right now. And sure enough, a guy called me up, say, hey, Bobby, I'm starting this real estate investment company, man. I think it would be perfect for us. I got an investor, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I think I've been waiting for this call. And that's how I got back into real estate, just like that. But I wouldn't have had that time. So you're buying time with this cushion. That's what you're buying, okay? I have 50K plus saved. What should I invest in? Okay, now we're going to get into investing, okay? Just a couple things that you should look at. So number one, real estate. I don't know if you guys know this, but you guys are in real estate. So look, you guys get access to deals. Like every time I get an off-market deal, I go look at it myself just in case it might be something that I can do, or I can partner up with somebody, something, right? I'm getting the inside track. I got 20 acres in Mount Dora that Veronica's going to see today. Like I thought about, I was like, damn, you can't find 20 acres in Mount Dora anymore like this. You know what I'm saying? That's a unicorn. Deontay's got 9 acres in Avalon. I'm like, this is a unicorn. It's a house right next to the city with 9 acres. Like, where does that happen? So, you know, you get to see these things, or, hey, this house is all crappy. I know the old lady, she trusts me. She just wants to get out of it. Bam, here's your freaking deal. There's your flip, right? There's your buy and hold. So do flips, potentially buy and hold. That could be short-term rental properties over by Disney, you know, buy and hold, just as long as you're holding on to the real estate, right? So you want to obviously buy low, sell high, right? So the cool thing about buy and hold is you hold it till there's the top of the market, and then you sell if you want to sell, right? Or you just keep gaining the income. There's not a hurry on that. With flips, it's kind of a different ballgame. Like right now, personally, I'd be real weary about some of these flips, right? Because the market is hitting this top, kind of the top-ish. And so you're catching it on the up wave. You really want to catch the property here and then get the appreciation all the way up, okay? So you just got to be smart about this. So it has to be a great deal, okay? Airbnb, we have some Airbnb experts in this office. Get with Kelly Espina, Andres Ospina. They're crushing this. I think they like 15 Airbnbs and crushing this, okay? You can also get with Mava and Julimar as well. Multifamily, obviously, you get more income off one building. So the bigger you know, most people graduate to this. So if you're going to hold property, most people will graduate potentially to multifamily. Why? Because you're putting multiple homes in one property. You're managing one place, and it produces you more income in one place, right? Rather than a single family might be making you $500, $1,000 a month. Now this thing's making you $5,000 a month in one place, right? And it's the same reason people do Airbnb, because you're charging hotel rates and you're getting way more income out of that property. Some people graduate to commercial, right? I know a lot of commercial investors, right? Some invest in office, some invest in strip plazas, some invest in mobile home parks.
Somebody has a Honda. Is anybody parked in the middle of the street with a Honda?
I'm blocking.
Yeah.
In the very front. That's me.
So multifamily, commercial, like I said, I got a lot of commercial investors. I know developers. It might be something you graduate to, right? If it makes sense for you, okay? And we talked about Airbnb, okay? The second one is, hey, how about you buy your own home, right? If you're going to be selling real estate, you should probably own it. Now, you have to make a good buy and everything like that. You know, we can talk about that. We encourage all you guys to buy their own home. I've seen a lot of agents this year buy their first home, you know, but we've seen it over time. And here's the deal. People who own their home have 37 times more net wealth on average, right? So we know owning real estate is important. Okay, you're paying off your own asset. As long as you don't overpay for something, you're gonna be okay. Especially in Orlando. Okay, as long as you can make the payment, you're gonna be okay. But you're paying down your own asset. Even if I break even on my home, I'm still making more money than I would renting, right? Because I'm paying down my own asset. I own a piece of property. I could break even. Okay, if I buy $200,000 property and it's still worth $200,000 5 years from now, that's okay. I paid it down. I get money back. You don't get money back from rent. Okay, so buy your own home. Plus, by the way, when you have something that's yours, it does something to you. Okay, I can't really explain it, but there's a certain stabilizing force knowing that you don't have to move. Nobody's gonna change the rent on you. This is mine. You know what? I'm gonna paint that shit green. You know, and I ain't gonna have no landlord telling me I can't paint that shit green, right? So you get it, you get something different. I believe that once you get that stability, when you're able to, when you put yourself in the position to do it, you will make more money, right? You tend to keep up the lifestyle you got. That's the crazy part. So you just set a new standard. That's a good standard set. I'm not telling you to go out there and floss and, you know, you should really buy a $250,000 home in Atlanta and you went and bought a $500,000. Now, you know, like, don't be crazy. Like, do this in the stages when it's time to do it, right? Or start with one that's less expensive and move up. Another thing you can do is a diversified investment account. Okay, so we're talking stocks, bonds, things like that. Once again, not a financial advisor. I did start studying this about 4 or 5 years ago. Tony Robbins wrote a book called Money Master the Game, right? Which was a freaking textbook. Okay, I'm gonna make it easy on you guys. Just read this book called Unshakable. Okay, it's the same book. He just whittled it down to something manageable. Okay, so and he just talks about the concepts of investing in stocks and index funds and things like this, stuff that none of us really understand. He really broke it down in a way by interviewing the top investment hedge fund guys in the world: Ray Dalio, Paul Tudor Jones. This is not Tony Robbins giving you his personal advice on stuff. He's interviewing the best in the world, people who have not lost money. They didn't lose money in the crash. They made money in the crash. Like people who are, because the whole point of investing and what they'll talk to you about, the first rule of investing. Does anybody know the first rule of investing? Why are you guys always on my seminars? Okay, I should have said that. If you've been at my seminars. No, I'm just kidding. So the first rule of investing is don't lose money. Don't lose what took you years to make. So you have to have protection. The problem is that people don't understand the shit they put their money into, and then the market, something happens with the market, the stock market, like the crash in 2007, and you're not protected, right? You put too much money into the wrong things. The whole point of diversification is you can't get hurt too bad. You're not going to make as much as you would if you gambled. Yeah, you can buy some Dogecoin and whatever, and you might hit it, but that's gambling. That's not, that's not investing. Investing is not that sexy. It's really like a very principle-based, you've got these stocks, they're not that sexy. They're going to make you 7% compounding. But the whole point is you keep putting money into these accounts over time, right? Because it's a snowball effect. It looks slow at first. You start with a little chunk. Chunk's making you money, but not anything that's going to get you rich. But your bank is making you poorer. The money that's in your bank is at 0.00000 something percent, right? So you put that money into an investment account. It compounds. You keep adding money to it, and then eventually you hit this critical mass where it starts to make you enough money to live, right? The interest and the principal pound up, and like, hey, I'm making $30,000, $35,000, $50,000 a year in just interest income from or dividend income from my account. So read this book. Just get yourself educated with this. I think this is a good option, or one of your investments could be. Do a side business. Do a multi-level. I see a lot of people that get success and like, okay, cool. I have all these clients in real estate. Like, how can I make another? What's my other angle in the business, right? It could be selling solar. It could be something like that. Or it could be joining a multi-level, right? There might be a multi-level that's a side business, or maybe over your course of doing what I teach you and connecting with as many people, somebody just brings you an opportunity and you can invest in their business and be getting mailbox money, whatever the case may be. But as an entrepreneur, you're thinking about those angles. Like, hey, man, I'm always looking for good opportunity, as long as it's not going to take me away from the thing that I really should be focusing on, right? So that's a little caveat. It doesn't mean you go after every shiny object. Like, you got to be very, very judicious about the things you pick to do on the side, because they could just be distractors. Okay, make sense? Okay, and then finally, alternative investments. So, hey, you don't have to invest in what everybody invests in. You can invest in a lot of things. I know. You seem like a guy who flips shoes. Do you flip Nikes? Guys who flip Nikes? Okay, people flip Nikes. There's a whole market for that. That's a business. That's an investment. Like, literally, my girl's son has her wake up in the morning to get the new edition, such and such Nike something or others, because they're going to come out for 300 and be worth 600 by the afternoon. Like, okay, those are alternative investments. So another one, typical one you might have heard of is private lending. So that mastermind group that I'm a part of, the guy who's a multimillionaire that runs it, he made all his money through private lending. He's like, screw doing the flips, man. You want the most return on effort? Just lend the flippers the money. You don't have to find a deal. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay for the equipment. You don't have to do the renovation yourself. You don't have to sell it. You just lend the money at 12%, whatever the case may be. That made sense to me. Like, why be the flipper when you can just lend the flipper the money? And if you lend right, if you're smart enough, what happens if the flipper fucks it up? You get the property. Cool. Then we'll flip it, right? Okay. Venture capital funds. I'm like I said, I'm doing this now through the group, but just startup companies. It could be a startup company, be it venture capital, things like that. Art. People invest in art. Crypto is huge right now. Okay, these are all alternative investments. I'm gonna give you one pro tip real quick. This is something that's come up a lot through this mastermind group, so don't worry, I paid to be a part of the group. I'm telling you everything they talk about, okay? This guy that made multi-million dollars, you know, it's not just about what you make, it's about what? It's about what you keep, right? So taxes, they take a big chunk out with taxes if you're not smart about it, okay? So this guy, this pro tip, you might want to start researching something called a self-directed Roth IRA, okay? This guy does all his alternative investments out of this vehicle because you don't pay capital gains. Once you put it into this self-directed Roth IRA, you stop paying capital gains on the stuff. I mean, you're going to pay the money when you put it in. Yeah, you're going to pay money on the income you've earned. But once it's in the self-directed Roth IRA and you start flipping properties, you start lending money, whatever you start doing, you won't be paying capital gains tax, and that's huge. Okay, self-direct, and like I said, not a financial expert, but I trust this dude, and this is what he's been using. I mean, he loves to brag that between using the self-directed Roth IRA and moving to Puerto Rico, his blended tax rate is 1.4%. Because you know, income tax in Puerto Rico is 4%, and capital gains is 0.
Is he an LLC popping up, or is he, you know?
I'm assuming he is. He's a business. Yeah.
So business under his.
Yeah. No, don't quote me on Puerto Rico law. I'm just telling you.
Just ask.
But put it like this: the guys that are making $500,000 and up a month in residual income in EXP live in Puerto Rico, and it's not by accident. they're not Boricuas, okay? They look like Jason. You know what I'm saying? Huh? That's right. That's right. They get torn up. And it depends what state you live in too. If you live in California, oh my God, just moving to a different state, you just increased your profits. Okay? So I know most of you guys are with us, so I'm gonna roll right into it real quick. I'm gonna go through an overview of the model. So I told you that there's a model out there, obviously EXP, that has all these entrepreneurial ventures. It has the income streams. It has the investments built in. It has all the things that we taught in this class about doing built into the system, right? So you're already in an investment vehicle, right? You're already in one if you're with us already. If you're not, and you're considering it, good. You should be as a business person. It's the first wealth building platform ever created for agents. So we're going to go through what the best things are from agent, broker, and team leader that this thing combines. So build wealth from day one, okay? That's what this model is made to do for those who take advantage of it. It's like anything else. I can give you the best vehicle to get somewhere, but you still have to drive it. You still have to do stuff, right? It's your choice, okay? Love this. The entrepreneur always searches for change, responds to it, and exploits it as an opportunity. Change is what you want. Change is how you make money, actually. See, people want things to stay the same, but like if you're an agent right now, hey, newsflash, the market's gonna change. It ain't always gonna be like this. That's what markets do. They change. Your job is to be able to capitalize on the shifts. Same way people did during COVID. Something changed. It shifted so much that some people got stupid rich. Zoom, stupid rich. Face mask, stupid rich. Because you need that kind of all, the ups and downs are how you make money. If everything stays like this, nobody makes shit. It's when things start going like this and you catch it on the bottom going up to the top that you make the money and that you're prepared, right? So here's the deal. You guys got to be thinking about pivoting, right? Because things are changing in the industry, right? And this is something I never really thought about until this happened. Like I remember talking to Gil 2.5 years ago, and Gil was actually thinking about getting out of real estate altogether. He's like, honestly, man, I don't know where the business is going to be in 5 years. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to real estate. I don't know we don't know. Think about the technology that I just told you about, blockchain. Yo, there's some shit coming down the pipe, guys, that I don't know what's going to happen. So you got to be prepared for the change. That means we got to start right now. We got to start building wealth. You get it while the getting is good. You be smart. And what EXP has done is kind of brilliant. So I'll show you that. So here's two people that didn't get it. Okay? They didn't get it. Anything that's been happening the same way for 30, 50 years is in big trouble. All the time, big trouble. We don't know when, but it's a when. It's not an if, right? Here's two people that didn't get it, right? The taxi industry. Clunky, old school, smelly cars, expensive rides, hard barrier to entry for drivers. And Uber's like, yo, people already we don't even have cars. Like they got their own cars. I'm gonna create an app. We're gonna go worldwide and we're gonna scale. That's what businesses are supposed to do. It's hard to scale taxis. It's clunky. Okay? Not with Uber. Uber's like, no, just plug into the app. You can be a driver and make money today. Here's another person who didn't get it. Netflix, right? They didn't see the future coming, right? And one thing that it really alerted me, I was like, before I even heard about, oh yeah. Blockbuster didn't see it coming, right? Netflix came in and they saw the future. They offered the future to Blockbuster. They said no, and then bankruptcy. Because you got to be prepared for the change. And here's the deal. Things are changing. The industry as you know it is no longer going to be the same. Don't get it twisted. I can't tell you exactly how it plays out, but I can tell you that the old school franchise model is in trouble. Because you've got monsters like Zillow on one side that are eventually going to create some kind of consumer-facing agents, real estate company. And then you have your agent-centered companies like EXP that are actually building wealth for agents and building a huge network to fight against the monster. In the middle is a franchise broker, and they're not offering enough. We're plucking their people, and two sides are going to pluck people from that middle. Honestly, 5 to 10 years, I think it's going to be tough for the big names to sustain. The Caldwells, the Kellers, unless they pivot their whole business model, which is hard to do when you have a lot of infrastructure and it's not easy to pivot. When you didn't build a technology-based company, you built a brick and mortar-based, old school layer of bureaucracy, layer of income going out all these places, right? So here's what a traditional real estate company looks like. The Century 21s, the Remaxes, or whatever. This is how they're all pretty much structured. Okay, so all the big franchises, you know, the guys with the big names, is what they look like, right? Our boy Gene Frederick, this is the napkin, right? You've got the company up here. You've got regional owners. So they break the country up into sections, and then there's a regional owner. And then they get franchise owners, right? People to buy into the franchise, own their own brokerages, own their own franchises, okay? And they're franchise owners. And then those people have to hire managers and staff to help them recruit, to help them do all the different things. And at the very bottom is the agent, okay? So it's really simple, guys. Here's an entrepreneur, 12 years ago. He's with Keller Williams, and he says to himself, what's the next level? Okay, he starts asking some questions, right? Because he realizes 12 years ago that there's something wrong with the industry, that nobody's trying to really shift the game, right? Like it's going to change, okay? So, hate this clicker. This is what he did. He just cut out the middleman. We don't need any of those folks. We're just giving the money's flowing up from the agent. The agents are the ones growing the company, and then we're giving the money to the manager, the regional, the broker, and then all the way up to the company. Okay? All we did was cut them out. So here it is. This is the structure of EXP. It's just corporate and agent owner. Okay, corporate, agent owner. We cut them all out. We cut them all out. It's an agent-centered company. Okay. And by the way, this is the simplest EXP explanation I've ever put together on slides because it doesn't have to be, you just have to hear enough of it to want to ask more questions. I'll be honest with you. You just got to hear enough of this to ask more questions. Whoever sponsored you or whoever you get, they'll have to unpack this over time. Like, you want me to get into formulas on residual income? No, you probably don't today. Okay. We can get there. Okay. So, but right now it's really that simple. It's an agent-owned company. So he said, hey, if it's going to be agent-owned company, they have to actually own the company. So why don't we give agents stock? Why don't we actually give the agents ownership in the company, right? No franchise owners, regional owners. Agents are going to carry us forward. So let's give them an incentive to stay. You remember that thing that the brokers used to worry about, people staying? Well, if I have no ownership in your company, why stay? It's fucking brilliant. Actually make the agent the owner. Let's give the agent stock in the company. And I'm talking about give, guys, because this is free stock. They're actually giving you free ownership for doing the things you were already doing in real estate, which is transactions. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. Oh, by the way, they're not giving you ownership in the real estate company. They're giving you ownership in EXP International. And EXP International is a technology company. It owns things. It owns technologies. It buys businesses. It bought Success Magazine. Do you know we own Success Magazine? It's our brand now. We bought it for $3 million. EXP owns it. You own it. Free stock. Here's how you get it. You close your first deal, free stock. Attract an agent to the company, free stock. You hit your cap. You see all the people here on the wall? What's that? Nope. No, closing your first deal every anniversary year you get, that's whenever you close it, right? Whenever you attract an agent. When you hit your cap, whenever that is, right? So all the people on the wall, these are all cappers. All these people got free stock, okay? And this is why you want to be an agent owner. Because you can start investing from day one, from your closings, right? From your production, you're going to get ownership in the company. You're actually investing with your deals. And you're getting free stuff. You close your first deal every year, they're just giving you that stock. So all this stock is given to you. And this one right here is the granddaddy. You see these beautiful people right here in the center of this wall right here? Okay? These are all icon agents. Okay? That means that they hit a certain level of production. They did 20 deals above their cap. And they got $16,000 worth of EXP stock. Okay? $16,000. So think about this. What if you were at RE/MAX for the last 5 years closing 40 transactions a year and you leave RE/MAX? What do you leave with? A wave maybe? You can cash stock in for money, right? There's people right now who are stock millionaires because they're top producers. That's why you should be a top producer. It's investing. You're getting $16,000 worth of stock. You should be figuring out what's the quickest way I could do 20 deals above my cap. What is the quickest way I could do 20 deals above the cap? Okay? So I can get this free stock. It's huge, guys. Here's another way you can invest. Right off the bat, as an agent, you don't have to wait till team leader, broker. You don't have to be some big time player in the game. You want an investment? Invest in the company you're a part of. Invest in the company that hit the NASDAQ, 3 years ago. When pre-COVID, the stock was at $7. I think it's around 40 now. I don't know what it is today. It's fluctuating. Good. Huh? 35. Okay. It's gone up a lot, and the stock split, and it's going to keep growing. When I joined a little over 2 years ago, there were around 16,000 agents in the company. I think we're at what, 54,000? Oh, by the way, we just started opening up countries. Biagio is responsible for helping open up Italy. In this office, one of my guys. Guess what?
I just spoke with somebody to open South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah,
There you go.
just a few minutes ago.
If you could have like
Why not?
2 of these in your front line, we're just a little less arrogant, but just 2 of them in your front line.
You don't understand. I'm Indian.
You're visible. See? Fucking Italians, I swear to God. But you can opt into something called the Agent Equity Program. When you sign up, Agent Equity Program, that means that they're going to take 5% of your commissions every time you close a deal, and they're going to buy EXP stock at a 10% discount for you. And they put it right there in your ShareWorks account. They're holding on. You can see it. You can go in your back-end system. That's my stock right there. There it is. And you're buying every time you close a deal. So think about that. You're investing while you're doing transactions all the time, right? You're getting free stock all the time. If you're smart, you're getting those deals up and doing 20 deals after your cap and getting $16,000 of free stock. Man, you stay in this company 5 years and you're doing all those things, it'd be tough not to have a couple $100,000, probably more. But I'm just saying, it's more than anybody else leaves with. I mean, if people would have been doing this last 5 years with EXP, they would be stock millionaires. Okay, so invest with every deal. Tools and technology. They say, what do agents need to start doing business from anywhere, right? Remember that whole scaling part? Hey, the company said, hey, I'm going to give you the tools and the technology where somebody can plug into this thing from anywhere they are in the country and start working, just like Uber. We don't need to wait for them to get a call. Like, we don't need to get a taxi. We don't need to get nothing. We don't need an office. We've got the training, right? We've got the tools. We've got the training. And this is the stuff that they provide. 12 years ago, Glenn Sanford put this company into the cloud. First cloud-based brokerage ever. 12 years ago. You're talking about you're talking about it being a visionary 12 years ago. Even though it was written on the wall, he decided to make this decision early. Remember when we talked about entrepreneurs invest and they do things now, they're going to pay off in the future? Guess what? 11 years later, something called the pandemic hit. And everybody was working from home and nobody knew how to do these conferences, seminars, and things like we were doing. But EXP owns the technology. So Hewlett-Packard came to us and said, hey, man, we need to borrow that shit. So our stock went boop because we licensed that to Hewlett-Packard and other major companies because we own the technology. So virtual culture. That means you can meet with anybody face-to-face, in person, in a virtual world. It's the first time anything like this has been created, and it's gotten better and better over time. We don't need this office. We could actually, most people in EXP aren't rolling with any office at all. They're actually working virtually. We just choose to keep, me and Gil choose to keep an office for you guys, okay? You got access to corporate, right? So you can actually talk to somebody at the company and speak to them, not only through the virtual world, but through work chat. Like I can literally message the president right now. He will answer me. Like he will answer me, right? Like I'm not gonna waste the president's time with some bullshit, but like he will answer. And agents too. And if he doesn't have the answer, he'll send you to the right person. Like I've never seen anything like that. And we've got the best education. So they're taking all, now that we're not bound by state lines and country lines, I can just get the best from everywhere to teach you guys, right? San Diego, New York, Nevada, whatever. They get into this virtual world and you can see 25 to 30 hours of training every single week. We don't take advantage of that enough in this office because we do so many live trainings. But other people you can best and believe are in EXP world all the time. All the time. Okay? So tools for real estate entrepreneur. We'll give you world-class CRM. We talked about that. When you want it to be an agent owner, you need to have a system and a CRM. Okay? We're going to give you that. Marketing center. Back-end center. You don't have to worry about creating flyers, listing presentations, buyers, all that stuff. It's all created. You just drop your picture and your information and you can get rolling anywhere you are in the country. Okay? Business management tools. You're going to be able to manage your stock, your transactions, and your residual income all on your back end. You actually have a business here. But look at this. We have now income streams. We have stock income streams. We have transactions. We got residual income. Okay? Do you see how this is all built in? The entrepreneurship is already built in. The wealth building is already, the investor is already built into the system. You don't have to do anything different but be a freaking rock star, right? So who wants to be a broker? No, nobody? Okay. So remember all the shitty stuff we talked about? Okay. Remember all this? The shit part about being a broker? Well, Glenn Sanford, the founder of EXP, was a pretty bright guy. So he tackled each one of these things, right? So you can feel really good about the fact you're making a good decision about being here, right? Because you already know the shit part about being a broker. His whole family was in this game. He just explained it to you live and in person. I'm not making this shit up. It's bad, okay? So Getting sued, liability. Don't worry about that. EXP is the first company to ever be the broker in all 50 states. Nobody has to be a broker. I'm an agent. You're an agent. I have the same opportunity you have. We all can get rich if we want to. It's your choice. But you're not going to get sued. And that's important, right? Gil and I have 1,060 agents right now. Okay? I'm not worried about what any of them are doing. I mean, I'm worried about you guys here because I still have to deal with the shit sometimes. But at the end of the day, I'm never getting sued, right? Like the only shit that I deal with is I try to keep, like if you guys got something, I try to handle it before it gets to the broker, right? So that we don't ever look bad as an office. Besides that, I'm not worried about getting sued, right? So this is incredible. Nobody's ever done this. They break, like Florida's broken up into territories. There's 8 brokers. Ours is Andrew Schock. He's out of Siesta Key. It's brilliant. Nobody has to be a broker and take on the liability or the expenses. Office and expenses. You've got a cloud-based environment. You got a virtual world. You don't need an office, right? You don't need staff. Everything's provided to you by the company. Now, we choose to keep that expense, Gil and I, because we see a long-term vision for this group, right? And it's worked out so far. There's multiple people in this office with organizations that are over 100 people and growing, right? Because we gave them an environment to do that. But we chose to do that. You don't have to do that. But you can do it. You can do exactly what Gil and I. Someday you guys can decide, hey, I'm going to go get an office space in this. Like I'll tell you right now, I just traveled up to Ocala and then it's just wide open in Ocala. I mean, all those small markets and you got people there. Don't delay. Don't delay. People, EXP's coming. Get your market share. You know, where are you from originally? Leesburg. You crush Leesburg with EXP. Those small towns, do you give them even an ounce of the energy? Huh?
The village is hired.
What's that?
My mom is the first real estate agent the village is hired. She's
Wow.
still there to this day.
Wow. I'm telling you, it's wide open. Wide open. Wide open. Wearing all the hats. Now, you don't have to wear all the hats. Remember where the broker has to be the recruiter, the man? You don't have to wear 2 things in EXP. Close deals and build your organization. Close deals, attract agents. Close deal, attract agents. Build your organization, build your squad, build your tribe, build your team. Right? It's a brokerage, guys. I don't care what you call it. You call everybody, oh, well, it's EXP, it's something different. No, it ain't. It's running, you have your brokerage, except you don't have the liability or expenses. And by the way, we'll talk a little bit about the alliance, and we provide extra things for you to grow your brokerage, okay? So all you have to do is this, grow your organization, okay? So remember when I said it was hard to scale, okay? Remember, this here, that little picture I showed before, that's what typical brokerage looked like. It's a 1-level model. That means you're recruiting. Remember that revolving door? All those people you're recruiting, 1 level, right? You don't get any credit if that person that you brought into your brokerage brings somebody else on. You don't get paid. Like, it doesn't work like that. There's no scalability there. It's literally a revolving door, and you continue to recruit. People continue to leave. You continue to recruit. Now we've got a multi-level model. Yes, it looks like a pyramid, but actually, to be honest with you, isn't every company shaped like a pyramid? You want to, this picture that I'm showing you was what came up when I said org chart. That's not a multi-level, that's an org chart. Here's the owner, founder of the company. Here's the CEO and CFO. Here's the board. Here's the employees down here. And nobody down here can make as much as the person up here. Now, everything's a pyramid. It's just some people are working at fucked up pyramids. Ours allows anybody in this group to do it. But here's the beautiful part. This is the scaling part. The scaling part is now this 1 level, yeah, it's right here. But now if any of these guys bring in these guys, I get paid on that too. And if these guys bring in these guys, I get paid on that too. And if these guys, there's more levels because this is only 4 levels. There's 3 more levels. There's 7 levels to this. Okay. So now what happens is you don't have to have that many people. Like, even if some of those first 20 people leave you, they will have brought people into your organization that are going to start to duplicate you, right? There's going to be some people in your organization that are going to open up a country. I couldn't have predicted that, but it's going to happen because it's just the law of bigger numbers, right? It's just, you keep adding people to your organization, I'm going to get more Veronica Lubins, right? Great freaking agents that produce a ton. And guess what? With her energy and what she does, she's going to attract people like her. right? And you're going to keep doing this over and over again. And now you're going to get rewarded for helping more people, right? And remember the part about staying in the company. Hey, man, once you start doing this, why would you want to leave a residual income once you've already, I mean, it's, and oh, it gets better. Look, now we're opening up countries. So now you're no longer bound by your city. You're no longer bound by state lines. We're now opening 5 countries every quarter. So now what you're telling me is that you can open up Italy, and because Biagio has, 50, 100 people there that are all connected to him, he's literally the source of the person. All that wealth will flow up through him and anybody else that gets in that game. And it's a right market because they just opened up.
By the way, that picture
Is outdated?
way up there.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we got more countries in there. We have most of them in there. Calm down. All right. So,
He doesn't like it.
so hard to scale? No, we're not bound by state lines. We're not bound by countries, and we're not bound by the agents we directly recruit. They are no longer the reason we're going to stay in business or out of business. Remember that example I gave you with that one level where I'm like, I recruited 20 people, but only 2 of them are really making me any money. And if they leave, my whole business falls apart. That shit ain't going to happen, because if you keep building, you keep growing leaders, and you pay attention to your front line, and you make sure that they do well, you're going to start realizing it's like, oh my God, I just have to help the leaders and the growers in this industry continue to build. And then it's like a snowball, and you're just kind of, oh, like this thing's just building now on its own. It's the same thing about the investing. You got to get past this part of the curve, but it starts to blow up. Okay. So no scaling issues anymore. Residual income equals freedom, guys. So if you want to know how this works, I put the video for the revenue share calculator for the residual income calculator on this website, 7levelsup.com. Okay. So I forwarded it there. So if you want to know how this works, I'm not going to go through whatever. I can tell you that the numbers get astronomical. Okay. I can tell you that I personally know, I was personally with 2 weeks ago with a gentleman named Roth Flick. Who knows who Roth Flick is? Anybody know who Roth Flick? Okay. So 2 people. Great. So Roth Flick is EXP famous, right? So he's one of the OGs. How long has he been in Josh? 6 years? Okay. He's been in it 6 years. So I saw him, by the way, what time I got? 15? Huge. So I was with Rob Flick 2 weeks ago. Okay. So he's part of that mastermind group that I pay to be a part of. And so I'm in this hotel suite. I'm talking to him, and I was like, hey, because I always get the numbers mixed up. I was like, hey, man, what's the revenue share looking like, man? He's like, I'm making $750,000 a month. He's like, in the past 6 years, I made $20 million. And I was like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, guess where he lives? Puerto Rico. So that's how big the numbers can get, but I don't want you to get enamored by that, right? Because I don't like giving that example because it just seems so far away from you guys. So I want to give you some real examples from the office. I won't disclose numbers, but things are happening in this very office. People are gaining a significant amount of residual income, even if you don't think it's big, because I'm talking big numbers, okay? So here's what it looks like. Is this real life? Yes. This is what I will tell you without revealing numbers, okay? Right now, Gil and I, after 2 and something years, right? And you know that we're in this thing to win it, right? So I think everybody should be, okay? We're making the equivalent in net income of owning a $6 million commercial building with a decent return. Normal, traditional return. Anybody know about cap rates? Cap rates? Okay, what would you say is a decent cap rate in this kind of market? 6 to 10. Yeah, 10%, you're like all day long. Okay, those kind of cap rates, that's what Gil and I have done. I got a single mom in the office that's making the kind of income she would gain from having had a $1 million commercial or multifamily building. After 2 years, the same, and a good cap rate. And I got somebody else that I spoke to the other night. I won't name his name, but he's one of these guys that has incredible success, incredible charm, but hadn't really understood the power of residual income and passive income within the model. You're already here, right? So I talked to him the other night, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm not really doing much, but I've got some good people, blah, blah, blah. So, all right, cool. I was like, well, out of curiosity, what was your residual income check for last month? And he's like, you know, it was about $1,250. And I was like, so you just made a mortgage payment last month? He's like, I never really thought about it like that. I'm like, bro, your residual income is paying your mortgage. That's a big deal for not even trying. For just happen to meet people because he's a charmer and he's got success and people are going to be around him and they want to learn from him. That's not trying. That's just letting your success attract more successful people on a very slow level. That matters, man. $1,200 a month matters. And by the way, you probably won't walk away from it. Remember when we're still trying to not have people walk out the door? It's hard to walk away from stock in $1,200 a month in residual income, even if it's not that much. Even if you got $15,000, $20,000 in stock that doesn't vest for 3 years that you have to wait to be with the company with, plus you're getting $1,000 a month in residual income and building, why would you leave the company? Just keep doing real estate, okay? So agents leaving you, why would they leave you? Just like we talked about. Residual income opportunities, you're getting ownership in the company, you've got a virtual campus, virtual culture, and the splits are 80-20, which is competitive in the industry. Like I said, I don't worry about splits. That's a competitive split. I'm gonna make over 100% in this game. This is not a purely transactional game. The whole point is to retire you. That 20% that EXP takes, they take half of it to give us back in residual income. The whole point is to pay it forward. The whole point is the long game. It's the long game. So if you're not a long game thinker, it's not gonna make a lot of sense to you. But here's the cool part. Once you cap, you go to 100% commission for that, and you know that year for you, right? So guess what? Tia caps in like a month. you know, like Tia does 2 months and she's capped. That means for 10 months out of the year, she gets all 100% of her commissions. That's crazy. Plus the stock, because she's gonna hit icon. Plus she's buying stock every time she closes a deal. Plus she's getting free stock. And by the way, you can create your own team as well. So remember that team thing? I said, hey, it's a good decision for some people. Build it within this model. It's never been more powerful. Now you can do the same exact thing you could do at Keller Williams and build a team, except now you have more advantages for your agents and they have more to build. You're getting double the money. Remember, if they're on a team, they're on a team split. But if they're in your downline, you're also getting downline income. And you give agents opportunity to graduate to new levels, right? This is what happens with team leaders. They get pissed because they recruit these people. They take them from 0 agent to freaking top producing agent. And when the agent feels stagnant and wants a new opportunity, the only way out is to switch brokerages. So now you don't make residual income either. You don't have anything else for them. In this model, you can say, hey, look, you don't want to do this anymore? Let me help you start a team. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to help somebody start a team? My God, it's going to grow my organization. I'm getting a piece of everything that happens here. You understand that? You see, you're seeing now the brand long game, and you can create your own brand. So you don't have to feel like, like Yandel, he's a stylish dude, right? You could tell the guy has a brand, right? He's allowed to do that. Build your own brand, okay? Because here's where it gets like, this is the part that people miss about EXP, and we're almost wrapped up. Is they get all emotional about business. They get all emotional about logos, and they get all emotional about brands, right? You go on social media, you got somebody bashing Keller, somebody from Keller bashing EXP, and then blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't give a shit about none of that. Like, it isn't, I don't talk about EXP like it's a brokerage, it's a platform. It's more like a CRM. It's a wealth building CRM for agents. And I've never seen anything like it, right? That's all it is. You build your brand on top of that. It's just a platform to run your business on. Don't worry about the logos. I don't need to be rah-rah EXP because I'm working towards wealth, right? And I don't know any other brokers that can do it. You should hear some of these pitches. Like I brought a guy in from Oregon, talking to a guy from Oregon. He gets me on the phone with a recruiter from Century 21. And we just wanted to hear his pitch and see what we could like go back and forth, like, try to recruit them, whatever. And we just kept asking him, hey, do you provide any kind of residual income for your agents? No. Do the agents get any ownership? No. And it was funny because I was watching him ask the questions and I already knew like what we have is good. And I got off the phone and the guy from Oregon was like, these guys really don't have anything to offer. And I was like, that's what I'm fucking telling you. I'm telling you, they just can't do what we're doing right now. Now, somebody might in the future, but hey, I'll take a 12-year head start. Okay? Okay, so this is how I explain it to people. This is just a platform to run your business on. If you're a writer, this is what your platform used to look like. This, to me, is what the real estate industry is currently, the old model. It looks like this. Still works. You can still write a book, okay? But if I said, hey, there's this thing called Microsoft Word, and you can still be the writer, you can still produce your own content, you can still be the magic, except you're going to be able to write way more fucking books, make way more fucking money, and it's going to be way easier. Which one do you want to do? It's like, dude, it's no brainer. It's just a platform, right? Nothing changed. People do business with people. They don't do business with logos. They're going to do business with Veronica. They're going to do business with Heather. They're going to do business with Rob. They don't give a shit what the logo is on the card and how fancy your company is or whatever the case may be. Are you a good person? Do you get shit done? Do you deliver? Do you make relationships? That's how you make money in real estate. This is just a platform. I don't need to be, oh, well, I'm with this company, that makes me good. No, it doesn't. There's going to be shitty XPAs. There's going to be shitty Keller Williams, right? It happens, right? But it's not the logo, and I need you to understand that. And finally, I'll leave you with this. The people you're around matters, okay? So is everybody here with us? Who's not with us? I mean, okay. Are you but you're going to be with us, or was that you, JP? You were talking about somebody? No. Anyway, okay, so you're not with us yet. So this is important because I say this all the time. EXP is the commodity because you can get EXP anywhere, okay? You're not going to find a better platform to build, but you don't have to get it from me. You don't have to get it from Corinne. You can get it anywhere, okay? You have to build something of value on top of the platform, and that's what we did with the Alliance Group. The things that we're committed to doing, what we were doing well already but have now supercharged, are three things. Number one, our belief in personal development. Got to build the person before you build a business. Every business should have a foundation of personal development, because as your people grow, your business grows. If I got somebody who's dying inside, you think they're going to be a productive agent? No. They're going to self-sabotage, and they're going to ruin the shit that they got, and it just doesn't, you can't run a long-term, remember, a long game. I want people to do well long game. I don't need your first couple deals and then you burn out or something happens, right? I want to invest in the person. So we're big believers in personal development. So I look at Corinne right here. Corinne, look at you right here. So that's when we went with 70 people over to Tony Robbins down to Unleash the Power Within in Miami. I mean, that was an incredible 3-4 days, right? That's what we believe in. This is when we did it here live, right here in this room, because we had to do it virtual. Okay, so we believe in personal development. It is huge. It's the foundation of everything. Number two is coaching. Okay, so I put this down here. If you're not with us, make sure you write this down at alliancecalendar.com. You can see our whole class schedule. You can understand that we believe in coaching and developing people. One of the reasons I'm even here is because I met Gil, and he said, I like to develop people. There's a lot of brokers that like you said, you were that guy. He would be that broker. That's why I love this model, right? And that's why I love this group. He doesn't have to do the coaching. We have 8 coaches in the office. We've got 4 seminars a week. 4 of them. You don't have to do any of the work. We set up the entire infrastructure for you to be able to plug somebody in and not have to do the shit you hate. Okay? That's important because we are keeping these expenses. We are keeping this office. We are keeping the staff. We are keeping the coaching and the classes going so you guys can grow big. So you don't have to carry that weight. We'll carry it for right now. Let us carry it for right now, but you guys better be running. Okay? And then finally, culture. Like if you haven't met us, you know, if you haven't hung out with the crew, right? We have that kind of culture. Me and Lingo just met dang near a month ago, right? I feel like I've known you my whole life, right? Because our culture is personal development, it's energy, it's passion, it's growth. So if you don't have a culture for building wealth and changing your life, we might be too much for you. I've had people that been like, you guys move too fast, or, you guys are making me feel a certain way, and the light is too much, right? But if you want to be a part of something like this, you're in the right place, right? And it doesn't matter who you're with, right? If somebody's doesn't have that same connection, and I wouldn't ever take a sponsor for anybody, whatever the case may be. But like in Ocala, I went there the other day. This lady signed up with somebody who's in another state. right? And it's just hard to get this kind of vibe, this kind of coaching and personal development. And then finally, I'll just leave you guys with this, is that part of the reason we got into this company is because we believe in the same model that EXP believes in, which if it ever comes up, which is changing agents' lives. That's actually our company motto. EXP Realty is changing agents' lives. And honestly, the reason that I'm partnered with Gil is because he believes in the same thing. And when I met him, like I told you, like, you know, you meet Gil, sometimes he's a rough guy, whatever this now, but when it comes down to the heart of it, he just wants to see the potential come out of people, right? Like that's what lights us up, you know? I mean, I've seen him turn some people around that I just didn't, I mean, even I would have been like, I don't know. Just, I'm tired, you know? Like, and Gil's like, nah. Let me sit with him, right? And sometimes it's just one conversation and there's that shift. Do we have any questions on the model or anything like that? All right, happy Friday. Oh, wait, Collier?
Yeah, no question, but I do want to address the audience.
Okay.
So right now, what's up, everybody? If you don't know me, I'm Mike Collier.
Mike Collier, yay! Let's get some. I know I gave you a lot of stuff for